1901, before the battle that would change Arabia forever, King Abdulaziz stood resolute in Kuwait, his gaze fixed on Riyadh, his ancestral home. Destiny called through the desert wind, and a young warrior prepared to reclaim his kingdom. In 1945, Winston Churchill sat upon the wreckage of Hitler's chair, a throne of tyranny reduced to ruins. The war was won. Evil had fallen. And in that moment, defiance became history's most powerful photograph. In 1924, freed from prison walls, Hitler acquired his first Mercedes. The engine roared with ambition. A failed revolutionary now rode in luxury, plotting darker roads ahead. History would remember this moment as the calm before humanity's storm. In 1943, French SAS moved like shadows across North Africa's burning sands, dust, sweat, and steel. They fought far from home, deep behind enemy lines, warriors bound by courage, carrying freedom on their backs through the desert's endless heat. In 1914, the Mona Lisa returned home to the Louvre after 2 years lost to the world. Her smile had vanished into darkness, then reappeared like a miracle. Paris breathed again. Art had survived theft, and mystery deepened into legend. In 1880, Colorado, Medicine Crow stood proud among his people before their teepee. 8 warriors, 1 woman, 1 child. A moment frozen in time. Their faces carried stories of survival, tradition, and a vanishing way of life etched into history's memory. In 1902, Aleister Crowley climbed K2's frozen peaks, seeking something beyond summit. 2 years later, visions came. He claimed communion with ancient gods, founded Thelema, and descended into ritual, desire, and darkness. 150 years ago, Queen Marie of Romania was born into royalty and destiny. She would become a diplomat, a warrior queen during war, a symbol of strength. Her legacy carved through an empire's twilight, elegant and unyielding. In the 1870s, 2 women stood before a glass negative, dressed in elegant fracks. Studio lights froze their moment forever. Dignified, poised, defiant of convention. A photograph that captured strength, identity, and the quiet revolution of simply being seen. In 1984, Kabul, an Afghan communist revolutionary, stood in traditional clothing, gripping an AK-47. Old world, new war. Revolution wore ancient robes but carried modern fire. Ideology clashed with identity in a land caught between empires and belief. In 1890s, Britain, a little girl cradled a black kitten against her chest. Innocence met innocence. Her eyes spoke of love without words, a fleeting childhood moment captured forever. Soft fur, gentle hands, and a friendship frozen in time's embrace. Between 1970 and 1973, Houston electrician and candy factory worker Dean Call, known as the Candy Man, kidnapped, sexually assaulted, and murdered at least 28 boys and young men with the help of 2 teen accomplices before being shot and killed by one of them. In 1931, the Marx Brothers brought chaos to London's elegant Savoy Hotel, serving cocktails with mischief in their eyes. Groucho's grin, Harpo's silence, Chico's charm. Comedy royalty turned waiters, turning British sophistication into pure, unforgettable laughter. In World War II, Black American soldiers fought with unmatched valor on distant battlefields. They faced 2 enemies, tyranny abroad and racism at home. Yet they stood tall, proud, courageous. Their sacrifice wrote freedom's story in blood and hope. Bobby and Ethel stood at their doorway, passing out Halloween candy with warm smiles. Laughter filled the autumn air. Children in costumes gathered close. A simple moment of joy. Family and tradition before history would demand so much more from them. In 1973, Northern Ireland, Philip Jones Griffiths captured a land torn between faith and fury. Streets echoed with tension, smoke, and prayers. Through his lens, the troubles became visible. Ordinary lives caught in conflict's unrelenting grip. Resilience amid ruin. In 1915, Mary Pickford became Fanchon the Cricket, dancing across silent screens with radiant charm. No words, only expression. America's Sweetheart captivated millions through flickering light and shadow. Cinema's first queen, immortalized in grace, innocence, and the magic of early film. In 1942, King Farouk met Winston Churchill in Cairo. Diplomacy filled the room, but so did mischief. As they spoke of war and alliance, Farouk's hand moved swiftly. Churchill's watch vanished. Power met audacity in one brazen, unforgettable moment. In 1960, James Arness left the dusty trails of Gunsmoke behind and entered Children's Mercy Hospital. Cowboy hero became gentle giant. Smiles replaced fear. For those children, a television star brought hope, warmth, and proof that heroes existed beyond the screen. In the late 1890s, a young woman posed proudly in her graduation portrait. 2 medals bearing Queen Victoria's image pinned to her chest. Achievement earned, future unknown. Her gaze steady, determined. A moment of triumph frozen forever in sepia and hope. In 1945, Joan Crawford and Anne Blythe stood together on the Mildred Pierce set. Mother and daughter on screen. Tension beneath the surface. Crawford's comeback role. Blythe's cold ambition. Hollywood magic forged from drama, jealousy, and 2 unforgettable performances bound in noir. In October 1914, men of the Oxford and Buckinghamshire Light Infantry crouched low, sheltering from German shrapnel at Ypres. Christopher Pilkington's lens caught their raw tension, fear etched into mud-stained faces. War's terrible reality frozen in a single, haunting photograph. A train approached through the rainy night, headlights cutting through fog and darkness. Water glistened on iron tracks. The engine's roar grew louder, closer, a moment suspended between departure and arrival, loneliness and longing, painted in shadows and steam. In 1893, women gathered dressed as brides and grooms, glasses raised in laughter and defiance. Convention became costume, identity became play. In that crowded room of masked matrimony, they explored freedom, performance, and the blurred lines between ritual and rebellion. In 1957, Elvis attended a Halloween party, rock and roll royalty in disguise, music's king among masquerade and laughter. Youth, fame, and mischief collided. For one night, the legend became just another guest, dancing through shadows and strobe lights in pure, carefree joy. On May the 1st, 1869, Annie Chapman stood radiant on her wedding day, hope captured in a single photograph. Years later, darkness would find her in Whitechapel's streets. This image remains, the only known portrait of a Ripper victim, frozen in innocent joy. In 1900, J.P. Morgan erupted in fury as a photographer captured his rhino-fimer without retouching. Pride shattered, vulnerability exposed. The banking titan's rage became legendary. One unedited photograph revealed what wealth could not hide. A British soldier stood grinning, arms full of captured Pickelhaube helmets, trophies of war, symbols of victory. each spiked helmet once crowned an enemy. Now they hung like conquered pride in his hands, proof that empires could fall and battlefields could be won. In 1905, E.D. Morel waged war with words against King Leopold's horrors in Congo. His pen exposed atrocities hidden by royal hands. A journalist became crusader, truth became weapon. Through courage and conviction. In 1933, Bela Lugosi and Boris Karloff stood together, masters of cinematic terror side by side. Dracula met Frankenstein's monster. Their eyes held secrets of shadows and screams. Two legends who taught audiences that monsters could be elegant, tragic, and unforgettable. In 1921, the cabinet of Dr. Caligari twisted reality into nightmare. Shadows bent, walls leaned, madness became art. This gelatin silver photograph captured German expressionism's dark soul. A film where sanity crumbled and cinema learned to dream in haunting, distorted beauty. Russian men stood armed with Fedorov automatics and Shosha machine guns, steel glinting in tired hands. Revolution's soldiers, weapons mixed from east and west. They posed for history, faces hard with purpose. War had made them brothers, bound by blood and bullets. In 1979, a Vietnamese woman guarded Chinese POWs after Deng's spanking became catastrophe. 3 weeks of war, tens of thousands fallen. She stood victorious, weapon ready. The child Deng dismissed had bitten back hard, proving small nations could bleed giants. In 1944, Cary Grant and Priscilla Lane brought madness and charm to arsenic and old lace. Murder hidden behind lace curtains, chaos disguised as comedy. Grant's bewildered eyes, Lane's sweet innocence. A film where death became delightful and family secrets turned hilariously, darkly absurd. In 1965, Queen Elizabeth II visited Ethiopia, captured by John Lingard's lens for Life magazine. Royalty met ancient empire beneath African sun. Grace traveled across continents, a moment of diplomacy frozen in time, two crowns acknowledging history, tradition, and the changing post-colonial world. The Caproni KFT-3 stood ready, propellers silent before flight. Italian engineering merged with early aviation dreams, wings spread wide against clouded sky, a relic of interwar ambition when machines of wood and canvas dared challenge gravity and distance with fragile, hopeful courage. On September 1st, 1971, Canadian men wrestled a sedated polar bear inside a cage for relocation. Strength met wilderness, humanity met nature's fury. Even drugged, the beast commanded respect. Survival demanded courage. In 1899, two American pals stood frozen in cyanotype blue, friendship captured in chemical and light. Their bond visible in posture and proximity, a moment of youth preserved forever. Technology turned memory into art, and companionship became a ghostly. In 1880s Florida, a lady posed in her finest dress before glass negative's unforgiving gaze. Fabric cascaded, posture perfect. Southern elegance frozen through light and chemistry. Her image etched forever, a moment of beauty, pride, and the fragile permanence of early photography. In the 1960s, Eartha Kitt became Catwoman, purring danger through television screens, sleek, seductive, unapologetically powerful. She brought elegance to villainy, sensuality to superhero lore. During the Battle of Shanghai, a Japanese wartime photo captured a Chinese soldier's skull amid ruins, life reduced to bone and dust, war's brutal truth frozen in one horrific image. Propaganda turned tragedy into trophy, humanity erased by empire's cruel, documented violence. On May 1, 1966, Eartha Kitt jumped rope with laughing girls, then gently cradled her fluffy companion. Stardom paused for joy and tenderness. Childhood play met maternal warmth. A moment where fame dissolved into simple love, connection, and the Halberstadt DV stood poised on the airfield. German engineering, ready for the skies. Propeller blades caught morning light. A fighter from the Great War's deadly dance. Wood, canvas, and courage combined. Wings that carried pilots into dogfights. A soldier in Italian uniform emerged from an abandoned M1340 tank. British disguise or Italian defeat. The photograph sparked debate across decades. War's confusion frozen in one frame. Truth blurred between propaganda and reality, leaving history to wonder, capture, deception, or merely survival's strange theater. In the 1880s, Mickey Free stood front and center among Apache scouts, a legendary tracker between two worlds. Half Mexican, half Irish, raised Apache. His one eye blazed with cunning. Survival meant crossing borders of blood, culture, and loyalty across the unforgiving southwest frontier. In 1955, Robert Frank captured Belle Isle, Detroit, through his restless lens. A city's island playground, frozen in black and white. America's contradictions visible. Leisure and loneliness, hope and segregation. 100 years ago, Mussolini roared into the Locarno conference, fashionably late, expecting spectacle. Instead, silence. The press boycotted him completely. Il Duce's grand entrance became humiliation. Fascist theater met diplomatic coldness. Ego clashed with principle, and for once, arrogance found no audience to applaud. In July 1934, Italian planes assembled in Udine after Engelbert Dollfuss's assassination. Mussolini prepared for German invasion of Austria. Engines roared with readiness, tension thick as fuel. Europe held its breath. War threatened borders. In 1944, Savaro, US soldiers examined a burned-out Italian Fiat Spie TM40. Blackened metal testament to battle's fury. Twisted steel told stories of retreat and ruin. They studied wreckage with tired eyes. War's machinery reduced to scrap. In 1977, Burt Reynolds, Jerry Reed, and Fred the Dog gathered on the Smokey and the Bandit set. Laughter, southern charm, and pure rebellious joy. A Trans Am, a wild ride, and friendship captured between takes. 3 stars, making movie magic from muscle cars. On October 31st, 1864, Congress rushed Nevada into the Union as the 36th state. Lincoln needed votes, Nevada had silver and loyalty. Statehood came swiftly, politically calculated. A desert territory became crucial to preserving the Union. In 1942, North Africa, Italian troops captured a British Humber scout car beneath the desert sun. Trophy of war, symbol of victory. Axis hands now gripped British steel. The tide of battle shifted constantly across sand, where machines changed owners and fortunes reversed overnight. In March 1945, Burma, a soldier tested a captured Japanese Type 100 submachine gun, enemy weapon now in Allied hands. The trigger pulled, bullets flew. War meant studying your opponent's tools, understanding their steel, to anticipate their tactics across the jungle's deadly, humid terrain. In November 1942, the crew of a Semoventi da 7518 posed with their machine, Littorio Division's pride in North Africa. Italian armor beneath merciless sun. Faces determined, steel ready. They fought far from home across burning sand, where metal met heat and survival hung by courage alone. American soldiers searched Japanese prisoners, M1 carbines ready in careful hands. War's tension visible in every gesture. Enemy became captive. Combat became procedure. Eyes watch for danger, even in surrender. The moment hung between violence past and uncertain peace. In 1954, Gloria Graham and Sterling Hayden smoldered through Naked Alibi. Film noir heat, shadows deep, her lips, his jaw, Hollywood darkness personified. Two damaged souls colliding on screen. Crime, seduction, and moral ambiguity merged into one unforgettable day. In 1908, Arnold Genthy captured a Japanese peasant girl carrying her younger brother on her back. Duty-worn young, responsibility heavy. She stood still for the camera while mother worked elsewhere. Childhood sacrificed for family survival. Tenderness visible despite burden's weight. In 1941, Italian soldiers of the CSIR, advancing through Russia, found little Ivan, a war orphan, and adopted him as their 80th Infantry Regiment mascot. Innocence, rescued from chaos. The Pasubio Division embraced him. Amid invasion, humanity flickered, a child saved by those who brought war. Two naval officers relaxed in civilian attire within occupied China, uniforms discarded for leisure. Conquest wore casual faces. They posed comfortably while a nation suffered beneath foreign rule. Power shed formality, but not control. In 1913, a funeral procession moved solemnly through Sırp Agop Cemetery in Istanbul. Black-clad mourners carried grief through ancient stones. Armenian tradition met Ottoman earth. Life ended, memory began. The cemetery held stories of diaspora. In 1914, French crossbowmen stood ready, medieval weapons thrust into modern war. Desperation armed tradition against machine guns. Silent strings replaced gunpowder. An absurd, tragic paradox. Ancient bows facing industrial slaughter. Between 1912 and 1913, Bulgarian Muslims faced forced conversion, faith stripped by violence and coercion, identity erased under threat, mosques silenced, traditions broken. Religious persecution wore nationalism's mask. In the 1890s, a trike with pedals, rudimentary transmission, and lever steering represented transportation's brave evolution. Wheels turned, gears clicked. Engineering met ambition on three wheels. Before cars ruled roads, inventors dreamed in metal, motion. The Lloyd 4008 stood ready, German engineering in mechanical form. Propellers poised, wings stretched wide. A warplane from aviation's infancy when flight meant courage and fragility combined. In early 20th century Germany, a moment frozen before the world changed forever. Streets bustled with optimism and industry. Empire stood tall, unaware of storms gathering. History held its breath. Prosperity masked tensions. Within decades, this nation would reshape the century through catastrophe, division, and rebirth.